Okay. And let me get straight to, one second here. Oops. Don't know what that is. Okay. So let me get started with just talking a little bit about our mission. Those of you who know us a little bit from other sessions, we talk about our mission being to prepare our students with the knowledge, skills, and character to become meaningful global contributors and citizens of the world. So our mission is more than just about language. It is about developing students that have the content, the knowledge that you would have in any other school, skills which involve problem solving, creative thinking, biliteracy, and also character for perspective to become meaningful global citizens. I want to explain here a little bit about our program in terms of the grades. We're the very first immersion school in the New York, New Jersey area that is a full immersion. We started in 2005, so we have the most experienced staff and the curriculum that has been in place the longest. We start at age 2 in preschool, and we have 100% at the age of 2, and starting at 2.5 in New Jersey, we're a 90-10 model, which means 90% of the time is spent in either Mandarin or Spanish and 10% in English. And then as the students go through our program, we add more and more English to the program. But still in kindergarten and first grade, 80% of the time is in Mandarin or Spanish and 20% in English. And by the time we get up to 4th and 5th grade, it's a 50-50 program because we teach math, science, social studies, then in both languages. Then when we get to middle school, we have language arts and social studies in the target language, and all the rest of the subjects are in English because we're getting ready to transition them to a high school. But this way, the students have a very deep background in the learning subjects in both languages, in the target language. So I just wanted to give that as a little bit of a background. Also to say that all of our teachers are native speakers of the languages that they speak. And many of them have master's degrees and backgrounds in teaching foreign language. So that's something that's very unique. So let us get started with the early childhood program. And I'd like to give our teachers, we have 2 teachers in early childhood this morning, representing each of the languages, Claudia, and we also have Renee. And we will start with, how about we start with Claudia, and we'll have you share with us a little bit of your background, and we have some wonderful slides to share with you of what they're doing in the class. Okay, oh, Claudia, you're on mute. There we go.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this meeting. I have a BA in Spanish. I joined with Hudson Way for almost 5 years. This experience in school is very nice. And the question is, discuss the unit. One of the units for me was more interesting for the kids was a community workers. This was very fun, and and very and attach very activities. They get the attention for the kids very well. Explore this unit for me was so important because at this age they exploring, they like new things, they want to make different things. I have this. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous, but I'm trying. Let me show you some activities we make it in class to make fun for the kids. This is the community workers. We visit in a town around the school. That is very important for them. Have that experience is so important for them. We invited one doctor to the class. She explained everything what happened with the appointment when you go to the appointment to the doctor. She was so nice with them. She resolved a lot of questions. They make it. They really enjoy this visit. Another thing, we make a fire station. We use maps. I use a lot of pictures to help them to get a vocabulary. That is so important for me. And I make it so colorful because they get the attention for them. This one, we make it everything together. We make a fire truck. We make it everything for them. We work together. Look in this one, they matching letters with about the topic. They make it a puzzle with the numbers. They looking at the sensory table with salt. They looking at match picture. And this one looking in this area, they use the number, they recognize the letters, looking, they practice everything. And everything is so fun for them because they learning by playing, looking. I have a lot of pictures. I have a colorful activities. Looking them is very important to make a question what they make it, how they make it, what they use it, everything for matching a picture. Look in this one. I have a lot of activities. For me, it's so important to make a puzzle about the letters, their names, everything. Looking, this is in our area. They develop their own ideas. I use a lot of recycled materials. Look in this one. They play together because in this area they have to learn to socialization, to share, to talk with the another ones, develop new ideas, everything. Look in this one. They make their own histories. And at the cooking is so important because in this one you can talk about the shapes, the color, the high is cold, is hot, everything. You have to use a lot of vocabulary with them in this in kitchen time, in circle time. But do you see? I have a lot of picture. A real picture is so good for them. And we make songs, we make a activity, we make a play, everything in circle time is very important for them because in that time they get more vocabulary about the lesson. In this one, they practice, and I love this one because in this one, they recognize many shapes. They build many things, and they have their own ideas. In color is same thing. You can make a question. They they mix in paint, they have a lot of imagination. That is perfect thing for them. I love this activity because this activity is so rich. Look it, they recognize the number, they count, they make it with the Play-Doh to help with the I don't remember the name, but they count everything. That is so good. Okay, that is the question.
That's great. It looks like so much. Looks like so much fun. I mean, Claudia, you have so many wonderful hands-on activities. And of course, our teachers are 100% speaking the target language during their time. So it's very rich with vocabulary they're constantly
Yes.
having engaged. Why don't we switch to the Mandarin side now for the preschool? And Renee, if you could share with us also talking like Claudia did about the unit and what the learning was in the unit and maybe touching on how you scaffold the students through developing their language.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Renee. Thank you for Claudia in sharing the wonderful slides to us. And now I want to share my class. I'm teaching preschool 4 years old kids. I have been teaching Chinese in second language in the America for over 7 years. So here I want to share something that in our school, and before I sharing, I want to share something very important for the kids in early childhood, because in our young child, their brains are uniquely suited to learn a second language, as a brain is most flexible in their most flexible stage. So they can learn a second language when they learn from their peers. The kids in our school, they did not just learn from the teacher. They learn from others. Maybe the kids doesn't know how to speak Mandarin at all, but they will learn from each other. For example, when they want the teacher help them, he maybe just need to want to say English, like, teacher, I need help. But later on, when he heard someone said, 老师, 我需要帮忙 in Mandarin, and they will keep on copying each other and learn from each other. So that is the very unique as a bilingual school in New Jersey, in our school, because they learn from each other. They spend most of the time with their peers, and they play with their peers using Mandarin. Sometimes they're using English because they don't know how to express their thoughts. They don't have enough vocabulary in their brain. But it is very important to develop their language skill and the social skill in both language. And especially because of COVID, the kids spend more time at home. They have less practice to communicate with their peers. So it is quite very vital and necessary for the kids go to the school as their age, and they need to play and talk and social with their peers. And now let's go to I want to share my slides and see what we are doing in our class. That everyone can see my slides? This is our slides, because I believe that the teacher love teaching child is I wanted our kids love learning, to engage their curiosity. So let's see. This is our curriculum. I'm teaching 4 years old for the pre-K. So we have 7 themes in our school, and each theme will last for 6 weeks. So Mm. So this is the first theme in the beginning of the school that we are talking about your family. So we through this project to develop their fine motor skill. That's for the coloring, you can see. And we develop their creative thoughts that they can coloring their house, they can draw the picture of their families. Most of them, they pick to draw their mother. So mommy is very important, stands in the whole family. So that's what we can see. That's all mothers, mama. And they can recognize the characters through the project to finish the whole book about my family. So this is our story time. Every day we have a story time. So I will read a book for them and I will ask the question about, do you know what's the subject, what's well going on, whatever. So engage them to ask a question. And we can see, as a teacher, we can see some of them are very interested in like animals, or they can understand the animals, the story about their emotions. Like, do you think the boy is sad? Do you think the boy is happy to go there? Whatever. So the story time is very necessary for the kids to listen, to understand. And some of them, now it's November, so some of them, they can record and repeat the story. So which is very important for their learning the second language during the story time. And we have the Chinese culture like the 中秋节 Middle Festival. So we will watch the video about the Chinese culture cartoon movie. I guess most of them, they don't have the chance to watch at home. So we pick the right movie for them and give them the knowledge about what's the Asian Chinese woman looks like, what's the story talk about, and they will draw the picture to represent what they learned from the movie. So this happens in November. Since we have keep on practicing the calendars, so our kids are very excited to be a teacher, to lead the day, the calendar, to say what's the date today in Mandarin. They want to be a little Chinese teacher, and they want to be the teacher like me, what I do every day. They want to try and they want to participate to do as a teacher or pretend as a student, because the dramatic play in early childhood is very important to demonstrate their learning and they understand what they have learned in the school. So this is another activities we do in our class. That's we use the Play-Doh to make the Chinese letter. So when they learn the Mandarin, we want to engage them to think and record their memory, and in the same time to continue to develop their fine motor skill. So not every kid can make that nice Play-Doh picture, but you can see everyone tried. Some of them, they will feel difficult, like, I can't do it. But that's very important for early child to develop their social emotional. They should do everything persistent, and they need to be engaged and encouraged. Next one I want to share about, we have weekly show and tell topic. So look at the kids. So this is what we're talking about, community. So the kids bring their costume, like it's policeman. Then introduce what you wear. What is that? That's a hat. That's a police. How to say policeman in Mandarin. How to say hat in Mandarin. And they will pretend and play together. That's so much fun in the school. And look at the cutie boy in the right, the panda. So the whole costume, he introduced what the color is and why I bring that, what's the year, and they will play and how the panda walk like that. So, okay. So this is our recent math class. So we are talking about the shapes because it's Christmas season. We have the gifts, we have the Christmas tree. They all related to the shapes. So what's the shapes of the Christmas tree and what's the shape of the Christmas gifts? So we're talking about the shapes and we want them to understand what is called rectangular and what is called square. What's the difference? How to measure it? So one-on-one measure it, and then they understand how to say long in Mandarin and how to say short in Mandarin, and what's the difference and what's the name in Mandarin and how to say it. They need, for our early childhood, they need to do a hands-on job to understand that, oh, that's the situation it is. So here is the last slide. Thank you for hearing for my slides. That's the last slide for me. The left side is we are doing our cooking class. So through the cooking class, they need to learn the Mandarin of bread, the Mandarin of potato sauce, tomato sauce, and the Mandarin of the cheese, and what we will make. Can you make a guess? So that's a fun activity for them. They love it and they're so excited to eat after they make their own food. And besides, it's the Christmas season and we are talking about the lights. We're decorating our Christmas tree and we're talking about the lights, and we have a lighting ceremony in our class, and the kids are so excited to say, wow, are you ready? Yes. Okay, let's go ahead. So that's my slides. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Renee. That is great. I mean, seeing how much academic content you can pack into those activities, really great to see that you're developing the students on so many different fronts as they progress in age. I know that both Claudia, you and Renee work very closely with our English teachers, and we're going to bring them into the conversation now because they, even though there's less time that we spend in English, that time is extremely important, and our students are staying on par with what students or even ahead of what students do in other programs. So I'm going to invite Anna as our preschool English teacher to talk a little bit about herself, and then we'll share a few pictures as well.
Thank you, Sharon. And thank you, Renee and Claudia as well. I do go in their classrooms as well as 2 other classrooms in the preschool and pre-K. I have 10 years experience working in the public school, and this is my first year at Hudson Way, working immersion. So I really am enjoying it, working with the different cultures and the teachers. Like Sharon said, we do have a short period of time to go into the classroom. I have 30 minutes to go into each classroom. So I have to pack it in. I have to get in there and get them settled and, just get right to work. At the beginning, we did group story reading, just to get to know them, see, their vocabulary and their interests. And at this point, with the classrooms, with Renee's classroom and the other pre-K, we're writing our names, especially in Renee's class, we're actually reading words and doing a lot of little mini books. Claudia's class, we're doing writing, a lot of fine motor skills, cutting, gluing. They enjoy story time as well. I enjoy going in there and teaching them what they need to know and still go with the theme of what the target language teachers are doing as well. So we coordinate and we try not to overlap doing the same thing. If Claudia is doing writing their name one day, I'm not doing the same thing when I come in there. We work together and work on what we want to do, and I always consult with them to make sure this is okay, that this is what I'm going to do this week, and it's going to work with their schedule as well. I know, Claudia, you have my slideshow because I was having trouble sharing it. I just have a few pictures of the children working. I also teach second, so there's a few pictures of the second graders working in there as well. Just showing some of the mini books that the kids have worked with, tracing their name, being creative. They love, having something to take home at the end of the class. And like I said, it is a short class. So, I have to keep them busy the whole time. And then we always do an activity on Friday. We call it Fun Friday. We do something fun, whether it's a craft, but it's still incorporating those fine motor skills, their creativity, and just getting them engaged in what we're doing. The last 3 slides there are from my second grade class. We did a puzzle bulletin board. Each student wrote what made them unique and special, and then we put those puzzle pieces together. And I tried to let them know we're a team, they're awesome, nothing can stop them. And I just feel it's really important for the students as second graders, but also as the preschoolers and pre-K, that they are always awesome. They're always amazing. They're always doing the best work, and it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as they're doing their best and they're enjoying what they're doing, that's the most important thing. And that's how I feel with the students. But I'm really enjoying my time at HWIS, and it's a great program and great group of teachers that we work with. So I'm really enjoying it. So it's a great place. And thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. It's our teachers are so supportive, as Anna's mentioned, and I think that the development of the social emotional aspect of young children is so important. We hear over and over again how much parents love our teachers because they're so caring and so supportive of our students. I'd like to move into elementary now and invite first our Mandarin elementary teacher to talk a little bit about the program, and then we'll do a similar thing where you'll hear as well from the English counterpart, and that's Katie in a moment, to talk about how the teachers work together and supporting them in elementary. So Na, would you like to kick that off?
Yep. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Miss Anna and Miss Renee, share the PPT. I saw my daughter's picture there. So yeah, my daughter is in Miss Renee's class. Every day she showed me her little book, and then I did this. And then I did some art. I did a show and tell. Every Friday I prepared the picture for her. Actually, yesterday was funny. So they did like a Christmas show and tell. And then I printed a little baby, her when she was young, and then with the picture with the Santa. She told me, "Oh, who is this little boy? Why are you crying with Santa?" I said, "This is you." Very, very funny. She's always very excited. Yeah. So please allow me to introduce a little bit about me. So my name is Na Zhang. You can tell I'm a native speaker of Mandarin. Yeah. So I'm a Mandarin kindergarten and a first grade teacher at Hassan Wei. This is my 4th year here. And then previously, I taught a kindergarten, first grade, and preschool in New York. I'm a licensed teacher in early childhood and special education. After earning my master's in that area, in both education area. I also completed a program in Columbia University in teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. And then in addition to my Hassan Wei teaching experience, I also taught gifted and talent program, Montessori and a special education program. And then I did some Olympic math in China too. Yeah, so that's basically my background. So I would love to represent our lower Mandarin program with you. So please share my PPT. So in our lower elementary school, so the kids are still belong to early childhood because they are still young. Even they are 6 years old, 7 years old, they are still young. So when we teaching, we have a lot of hands-on activity to attract them, to encourage them, to complete the tasks, to make a fun activity, to let them to involve all the tasks. So in reading and writing, so all the Mandarin curriculum, we call the Mandarin language art, including all the 4 basic skills. We use the better immersion curriculum. So this is a so wonderful curriculum I ever use, because this is the whole system. So they started with the kindergarten until upper grade. So they learn, they build little by little, like a building little by little, and then their vocabulary gain a lot, and then they're learning the structured sentences, and they're learning reading skills and writing skills. That's a whole system. That's why consistently learning this curriculum is really helpful for the kids' Mandarin language learning. So you can see the picture. We have like a Mandarin partner. They read to each other of the little reader. So very interesting is they are kindergarten students, 5 years old. They can read the whole reader by themselves independently, even though they don't know all the characters, but they can read. That's the magical part of this curriculum, because when they design this curriculum, they use like a repeating sentences. And then once the students see the picture, they figure out what they learn. For example, so 我的名字叫一, and then when they see the next page, they know number 2, right? In Mandarin, they say 我的名字叫二, 我的名字叫三, and then continue. They can read the whole book. And then after every kid says, oh, I already know how to read this whole book. They are so excited to share with their parents. Yeah. So also, we learn the basic strokes of character in writing, because the Chinese, writing in Chinese versus writing in English is totally different, because you have to know the character, the structured sentences, then you can write, you can create your writing. So we start little by little. For kindergarten students, they learn the basic characters. For example, like a basic strokes. This is the heng, this is the shu. We also use body language, sometimes with the shu, heng. During the class, the kids love to rap them at the teacher. They pronounce one stroke and everybody do the body language. And then sometimes they do so fast, the kids are, oh, I didn't do, I missed one. And then, so this is a fun part to do. And also I created some like a rainbow characters, because in writing Chinese character, you must follow the strokes. And then this is the two students doing like a rainbow character. The first stroke, you use the red. The second one, use the green. The third one, the different color. And then they write that, and then they check to each other. Say, oh, did I write her correct? And then this is a fun part to do. We have so much different hands-on activity to encourage the kids to learn. This is a kindergarten. For our first grade, I also teach a first grade writing. The kids start to write like a whole essay. Maybe at the beginning of the school year, they write a couple of sentences, maybe one paragraph. And then later, end of the school year, like end of first grade, they will write paragraphs. Last year, when I taught first grade, my students can write like 3-4 paragraphs. essay. So in Mandarin, pure in Mandarin. I was so proud of them. Yeah. So for our writing in kindergarten and the first grade, our students will learn writing in both English and Mandarin. For example, week A, we learn writing in English. Week B, they will go to Miss Katie, the class, to learn writing in English. Yeah, this is our module learning. So the kids can have a both experience to about her writing. Yeah. So for our students, I know every day they hear the language, they're learning the vocabulary, but how good are they? What's their level are they? So we need the assessment. So this is the grade assessment system for our students called a level learning. And then we test the students periodically. Last year was every month. Each student have an individual test, and then we say where your reading level is, and then we can assign your homework, and then you can work on that level books. Otherwise, if they can just pick any book to read, they will feel bored because so much vocabulary they don't know, they will lose interest. The good part is that we know their level, we send the readers all the books to them, and then they can read the age appropriate and the level appropriate books for independently. Yeah. And then, so now I wanted to introduce a little bit about our class schedule. So from here, you can see we have mostly in Mandarin, except English class here, and specials like a PE, art, and music. They are in English, and also the writing, like I talked previously, they have both in English and Mandarin. Yeah. So this is our class schedule, and of course, math is 100% in Mandarin. We use Singapore math, so which is a very high standard, way better than, I mean, the standard is way better than Common Core. I talk with my husband all the time. I say, my stepson in public school is in 3rd grade. So, oh, Henry's learning multiplication in 3rd grade. So excited. I said, oh, we did it in 1st grade. The kids know how to, in Chinese, we have like a poem to remember the multiplication, like a 一得一, 一二得二. Once you remember that, the whole life, you don't have to work on the multiplication. Oh, they just learned 3rd grade. I said, okay. And with the 1st grade, we already did. So that's we can tell how much advanced our students in math with this program. Yeah. So here's the example of the project-based learning. So in science, last unit, we talk about plants and animals. So the kids are very excited about the animal. They learn, they have ocean animal, they have like a land animal, they have a reptile. What's the difference? They need to talk about that, and then to compare, to come out with a whole group poster to represent your project, your research. So this group, they did like a habitat research. Once they choose their partner, they do some research. I prepared before the class, before teaching, I prepared a lot of related books, some pictures, even some videos for the students to use. You can look at the video through the iPad or through my computer to find some content, some information about this, the topic you talk about. For example, this group, they talk about ocean. There are a lot of ocean animal, where the ocean, how much percentage ocean on our Earth. And then they come out, they all create a one poster together and they draw some animals there. And then later, when at the end of the program, at the end of the unit, they need to represent their project. So at the whole group, that's the sharing their posters. Through this lot of hands-on, there are a lot of like a project-based learning. They know how to collaborate working and creating things, how to build their confidence in front of the whole class. Yeah, so this is our example of the project. Thank you, everyone.
That's great. You can really see the progression and the development of these project-based as the children are able to do research and show their specific interest and go in depth. It's really so beneficial to have them have the experience of those projects. I want to turn it over now to Katie to share with us a little bit about how, these very important years in English and reading and how she works with Na, even though they're very different. In some areas, there are the same processes for learning reading and writing.
Okay, thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Na. So first, I just wanted to describe our ELA program a little bit. So we have 1 hour for English language arts every day, where we cover reading, grammar, phonics, and spelling. And for kindergarten and first grade, I teach Na's kindergarten and first grade class. We're really trying to build a solid foundation for the students to move forward with throughout the school year and in the future too. So we're really I'm trying to introduce simple rules of grammar. For example, this past week, we focused on the constructing a complete sentence by identifying the subject and the predicate within a sentence. And the students really showed me that they're able to do this, and they're very engaged when we do these lessons together. Like I said before, we only have an hour in our classroom, and it is a short period of time, but students have really successfully adapted to the structured schedule that we have when they come into my class. They know that we go straight to the carpet. We have about 15 to 20 minutes for a morning meeting where I present our lesson. The students ask and answer questions about the lesson for the day, and then I'm able to send them off to their seats for the remaining 40 to 45 minutes where they work on their classwork independently. And this also gives me time to work one-on-one with students that may need the extra help and extra attention, and just oversee all students and help them create their best work. And like Nas showed us before, so we work together in the way that 1 week Na will have kindergarten for writer's workshop. And while she has her kindergarten class for Mandarin writer's workshop, I will have the first graders for English writer's workshop. We use the Teachers College, Columbia University Units of Study Writing program, which turns students into extremely skilled writers because it's just constant writing, and the students are finding ways to write engaging and interesting, attention-grabbing stories that they really seem to enjoy, because once they finish writing one story, they get to present it and publish it, and show each other the work that they completed throughout the lesson. So I also have a couple pictures that I wanted to share. Let me just bring it up. Okay, oh, sorry, that's my cat, if you can see it. All right. So on my first slide here, I have an example of our kindergarten work. So we use Journeys as a resource for ELA, which covers everything from grammar to phonics. So students have their own textbooks, they have writing journals, and you can see in this picture here, students working independently, and they get really engaged when they have an assignment to do, and it's awesome to see them getting to work and really focusing on what they have to do. Over here, we have students planning out a story map. And, this is what we would do during our morning meeting time with the 15 to 20 minutes. Like after I present the lesson, I have students show me their understanding by coming up to the board and filling in a story map like this right here. And over here, I have a picture of something that we did to wrap up our last unit, our first unit, which was students put on a play. And the play was right in our Journeys book. So they all took turns acting out this play, and they learned how to use props and how to read a script, and it was awesome to see. And then we have one of our other students here leaving the classroom because at the end of the story the character runs away. So she really was enjoying that. And then over here I have a picture of an example of just a little classroom activity we did a couple weeks ago, where students had to use a magnifying glass to find CVC words within pictures, and they loved this. They felt like they were detectives looking for these words, and it was a fun activity. And of course, on this page, I have an example of our kindergarten work. So again, you know, we're focusing on CVC words and short vowel sounds. And I included some examples of the activities that we do to cover short vowel sounds, how the students come up to the board to show me their understanding. And I also included a picture of what my classroom kind of looks like. So we have the two tables, and they're two round tables, which makes it easier for students to collaborate with each other while they're at their desks. And I also have flexible seating arrangements. So students love these floor desks where they can just sit on the carpet, and it really keeps them focused and working independently.
That's great. Katie, for those of us who may not know CVC words, what can you say what that acronym means?
Yes, I'm so sorry. CVC
Okay.
words just means consonant, vowel, consonant. So students learn how to pronounce words and build a great foundation of reading by knowing what the vowel sounds make in the middle of these words.
Great. Great. A lot of great learning. I want to open it up now. If there are any questions, feel free to either speak it or place it in the chat. Either way is fine.
Hi, I'm Helen. I actually have 3 kids, and I didn't realize that this wouldn't cover 2nd grade. I have a child that will be entering 2nd grade in the fall, next fall. And I'd like to know, like, is there any huge difference between 1st and 2nd grade that you can just briefly talk about? I know this is not the presentation for it, but I just, see if you can just kind of give me a summary of like the big difference between the two. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can start and maybe not. I mean, I know you work with Wei Chen and you can add
Also, I
on.
just want to say that this was definitely still informative for me because I have 2 younger kids and they're
Okay.
going into kindergarten, and one will be 3 years old next year. So,
Okay,
so I
great.
still got what I needed, but for my
What-
2nd grader,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Sure. And we're happy to, also outside of this, answer other questions that we can't get to. We're having, I should say, another teacher panel for the older elementary through middle school. And I can send everyone the date on that. That'll be sometime in January. But basically in grade 2, we continue with the better immersion, and they continue developing their fluency in reading. We begin to teach pinyin in the 2nd semester of 2nd grade because we don't want to confuse them in kindergarten and 1st grade with English as they're learning reading and writing. We also don't want them to rely on pinyin as a crutch for learning Chinese characters. We want them to understand the radical system and how characters are grouped and some of that background. In 2nd grade, we give a Chromebook 1-to-1, so they begin after they learn pinyin in the 2nd semester to learn how to type in Chinese through knowledge of the pinyin and having the Chromebook. Na, do you want to add anything else in terms of language arts?
Oh, yeah. So teaching character first is very, very important. I experience with that, you know, because they are in America, they learn English no matter how, you know, even the kids speak Mandarin at home, but they hear English here, there, even go to grocery store or play in the park. So once they have a certain amount of vocabulary, recognize the characters, know how to write the character, then they learn pinyin. It will help them to gain vocabulary later. So that's why we decide to learn pinyin later. And then, so last year, my first grade and kindergarten students learned like a 500 characters. Everywhere I see that, we're so proud of them, and they can, you know, take a easy, simple reader. They can read independently. The parents were the shocked. They said, "Oh wow, my kids can read the whole book. I couldn't remember. I couldn't believe that." Yeah, so that's why second grade they learn pinyin, and also the difference between second grade and the first grade and kindergarten are so in kindergarten and first grade we learn math and social study and science only in Mandarin. But in second grade, they learn in both languages, English and Mandarin. And then week A, week B, you know, they switch with the English teachers. Yeah, that's the differences. Yeah. Also, we have a writing assessment to the kids like every month, and then we know exactly where the level or they are. Yeah.
Could you talk about the ratio between fluent kids that maybe come from family that already speak Chinese at home and kids that don't have that background, so non-fluent kids? So what would be the ratio at the higher grade level, at second grade?
I don't know. I think, you know, it has changed over the years. It used to be that the majority of our families do not come from Chinese speaking households, more than 50%. I think what we're seeing now recently is that more and more Chinese families are even heritage families are coming into the program because they are realizing that um, we're graduating American kids who can read and write at higher levels than their own kids. And, you know, Chinese school on the weekend is not adequate to develop the literacy because they're not really learning math and science and social studies in Mandarin. So we're seeing more and more heritage families. So I would say in the upper grades, though, it's still not quite 50% that are heritage families. I don't know, Na or Renee, if you want to comment in your classes.
So I think in my class only I have 16 kids in my class, and I think only 2 or 3 of them come from like Chinese background family. The rest of them, they are all like heritage families. Even some of them, they from the Chinese Americans, but they cannot speak Chinese. But maybe they can speak Cantonese, but definitely not Chinese. So like only, yeah,
So you're
20%.
saying only 3 of them are true Chinese speaking families at home?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In my
Okay.
class.
Yeah. So, oh, sorry. Yep. Go ahead.
So in my kindergarten first grade class, I think I have 15 kids. 3 of them are pure American, no language background. And then the other maybe half. So mom or dad speak Mandarin, and then the other one is speak English. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question because there's such I feel like that's a really big challenge for you guys because some kids are so fluent and then some are new to the to Chinese. How, like, do you put the ones that are new to Chinese like maybe at a lower level of Chinese, or like how do you basically how do you manage the different level of fluency because like especially at the second grade level. Yeah, because at preschool I can see, you know, they're playing and they're learning with each other, but at the second grade level, they're now like doing more academic stuff. So someone that cannot read in Chinese, like we don't really speak Chinese at home. So I'm just trying to understand like how would my daughter catch up to someone that is fluent already in Chinese? Yeah.
May I answer your question?
Yeah.
So I experienced with this situation. I just have a little boy join in my class with zero language foundation, zero. So maybe at the beginning he, you know, he keep silent, and then, you know, every day earn vocabulary, hear a lot, input. And then over the time, now 2 months later, he can count from 1 to 100 in Mandarin. The mom was so proud of him. Some simple readers, he can read independently. That's a huge improve for students without any Mandarin language background. Yeah, of course, at the beginning, the pretty painful when you don't understand the content or what they're talking about. They got bored. But that's why the teacher create so many fun activity. You know, just listening, you can see the body language, the gestures, the facial expression, and then some hands-on experience, hands-on activities to learn the character, to learn reading. So all this stuff will help the kids to learn. Yeah. So and then I mean, each kid is different. Some kids maybe for a year they didn't speak. Some kids maybe speak faster, right? When I teach in preschool for 3 years old, and then one boy, yeah, same situation, like a no language background, and then for 5 months later, just start to speak, because no matter how, when you learn a second language or third language, all new to you. So the language environment is so important. Every day you hear, you practice, even playing with the kids, and then they hear the sound. Over the time, they will build up the vocabularies. Yeah, for my that little boy, so I teach the whole class together, and then we also do small group. Small group is very important because the teacher can focus on you, give you full attention, do like an individual activity, help you how to pronounce the vocabulary, and then that's help him to get better. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Just last question. How big is the second grade class this year?
This year
The
in
New Jersey campus. Yeah,
New Jersey campus, we have 14 students in second grade.
Sharon,
right?
we have 16 in the class right now.
16 in the class. Okay, thank you, Anna. That's right.
No problem.
We added 2 more. That's right.
Yes, we did.
Mid-year,
Yes, so
yes.
that's the second grade class I go in for
Great.
English.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other questions? I want to thank you for joining our session today. I hope you found it informative, and I hope you got a sense of our wonderful teachers. I'm really proud of them. Very supportive and caring and wonderful with our students. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon.